When did you realize that Blake was not going to be able to make this start and that he was having issues with his left elbow?
Found out about it yesterday during his catch play. Playing catch, threw a bullpen a few days ago, I think. And then during his catch play, just felt something in the back of his elbow and just couldn't continue.
You've had another pitcher, Edwin Diaz, have something similar. He underwent surgery to remove those loose bodies. Will Blake have to do the same?
Well, I think right now anything's on the table. We're still trying to, because obviously we have the test to determine that there were loose bodies, and so we're kind of talking through potential, what's next. I think at the end of the day, we feel confident that he's going to be back with us this year. Either path, but I think right now no definitive, process has been made. Decision has been made yet.
Have you seen what would a non-surgical route look like?
A non-surgical route would probably be some type of, rest, cortisone shot, some type of to try to the inflammation down or whatever, and kind of like that. And, wait a little bit to see how it responds.
What's the conversation with him been like?
What's that?
After you found out, what was the conversation?
You know what? I think he is disappointed. I haven't personally talked to him. The front office has chatted with him. A couple coaches have chatted with him. I haven't talked to him, so I'm going to reach out to him today.
Is this something that's going to be like a couple months or two at least, probably?
What's that?
Will it be like a couple months at least?
Well, that's depending on how which path we take.
Factor is it the fact that he's dealt with this before? Like, how much is that forming maybe his history decision on whether or not to have surgery or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. That's some information that's helpful for him. But at the end of the day, he's got to figure out what's best for him and make that decision. And whatever way we go, then I know we'll support it.
Are you going to continue with the 6-man rotation? And if until Tyler Lester comes back, if not, what's that really going to look like?
Right now, I don't know if we have 6 candidates. So, today's a bullpen day. So I just don't know right now. Yeah.
How much flexibility do you have to make that decision with Yamamoto, Roki needing kind of between starts?
Yeah, there's just not a. Yeah, so I think that we're prepared to do whatever we can. But I will say that the most important thing is to, keep the guys on their schedules, not try to push too much because of circumstances with the rotation. Because then you're starting to compromise their health. So I think that, whether we backfill somehow or do bullpen days, we're prepared to do whatever it takes. Yeah.
Between this and like Edwin and even Tyler, is it starting to feel similar to some of like the pitching injury issues you guys have dealt with the past couple of years? And what did you learn about those situations?
It does feel like it seems like every year we go through it. What I have learned is that we get through it. So yeah, I mean it's never doesn't feel great when you're in it. In spring training, we're looking at all the plethora, but in baseball, it happens all the time with pitching. So here we are.
River Ryan's pitching in Oklahoma City for the first time since coming off the IL. Is he a candidate, to maybe be here sooner than what you guys expected?
Yeah. Obviously, I think he's going 4 and 6C today. So it certainly should be on the table. Considering other options, but you just got to make sure that he gets out of this one okay, and it's got to be kind of a uniform decision that we all feel good about. But it should be on the table. But again, it's we'll kind of see after his start tonight.
Is today just a day off for Freddie?
Yeah, just being in the middle of 13 in a row, I just felt that this was a good day to kind of sit and watch a ball game. He's been doing great. he's trended in the right direction the last couple weeks, but I still feel that it's still the right thing to just kind of give him a day in the middle of this stretch.
How do you approach those things? You're the manager, obviously doing what's best for him, but do you fire off a text where he can't push back, or how do you approach that?
I did text him a couple nights ago. He wanted to kind of revisit it last night and try to make his case. But, I remained firm. He was even, during the ninth inning last night, still trying to convince me that he can play tonight's game. So it's been front of his mind, but I still think it's the right decision.
River wasn't really able to kind of build that foundation you talked about in spring training because of the injury, but at this point, the team need kind of, take priority over building that foundation.
No. So the possibility of him pitching for us, it's a possibility. It's still a slim possibility because the most important thing is his progression. If everyone isn't on board with that and speeding it up, then it's moot. It's not going to happen. It's a non-starter. But if the training staff feels that it's okay and you're not compromising him and the progression, then it's a conversation. But I don't know that yet.
Change the timeline with Watson at all?
No, Tyler is still just kind of on just the flat ground, stretching it out, so it doesn't change Tyler's.
Give me your view just generally on Shohei Ohtani, knowing what your game prep is like as a hitter, and he's doing pitch. Now he's full-time all this year, pitching and hitting. What's your view of Ohtani?
Well, I think Aaron Judge is the best hitter in the game, but I'm left-handed. Shohei's a close second, and for me, he's the most intriguing hitter in the game because of the responsibilities he has, because he's so dominant against left-handed pitching, and because he's just rare is the player that evolves right in front of your eyes, and we've been able to see him grow from an intriguing, a multi-talented star to literally Mount Rushmore caliber player. I have him right now trending towards, his face being next to Ruth, next to Willie, and next to Hank Aaron on our baseball's Mount Rushmore. And this is not to disrespect anybody in the history of the game, but he's fabulous, and we're so fortunate to get to watch him on a daily basis.
It is amazing. Right now, he's hitting .240. He's got a .370 on base. Not embarrassing, but it's not his standards. Slugging .427, so it could be worse. What do you see with Ohtani right now? With his hitting, again, he's had a few days that he just hasn't looked good. He's had 2 days off from the plate. What are you seeing, Joey?
Well, the first thing that stands out to me is he does have that on-base percentage going. And, it's watching him go 50-50. That very same day, he had one of the greatest single games in baseball history where he went 6 for 6 and had some bags and obviously the homers. He's one game away from all of a sudden, passing the 500, 550 slug and entering into the 950, 1,000 OPS territory. And then what is there to worry about with him? If he wasn't walking, if he didn't have that plus on base percentage above his batting average, then I would be more concerned. But there's something going on, in my opinion. Watching his at-bats, I see something, and I know for a fact he's light years ahead of everybody that's commented on what he's doing at the plate. But, to me, it's as simple as the up and away pitch, the middle up pitch, and the away pitch. Those are the pitches that you want deeper in the zone, and you have to be able to back the ball up in your swing. And in past years, and certainly last September, he showed that is a strength of his when he's at his very best. And in 2026, maybe it's a slight adjustment, maybe it's early, maybe it's small sample size, maybe it's the new responsibility of being the very best pitcher or the 1B best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. But he just is ever so slightly off. And, looking at his bat speed data, he's, I think, maybe a mile per hour off. So is Aaron Judge with an 1,100 or 1,000 plus OPS. So there's absolutely nothing going on other than a slight targeting issue, and I think that he's just been a bit too close to him in terms of his targeting. And once he starts dominating and owning that up pitch and that up and away pitch, all of a sudden the ball gets deeper in the zone. You have no choice but to back the ball up in the zone to be able to hit the ball out to center, out to left center field. And it's going to be fun. I think we're about to watch a guy who has, he has a 3-win month. I think in the last couple of years, I think we might have a guy who puts together a couple of those in 2026 and puts together one of the all-time great seasons. It's going to be a blast to watch from May 15th till the end of the year.
But yeah, a lot of specific stuff in there, Joey. But just so people know, that blue is cold, right? The red is hot, blue is cold, and in that corner, blue is cold. There's a lot in there. People have rack it back, DVR it, rack it back, and listen again. Hey, Joey, you actually checked out his batting practice, his BP. What did you see when you saw a show? What do you see in a guy's BP?
Right. So I was privy enough to watch his batting practice from the most recent rare outside batting practice he took. But you can see a couple balls he pulled where you can see the reaction, where he wasn't able to let the ball get that ever so slight, that tick deeper to be able to drive it to center field, and he likes that one. And the good hitters want to see straight lines, even if it's pulled. If there's nothing wrong with pulling the ball, but those is to center field right there, the straight lines off their bat, because then they know that it's just a feel thing. I can't even articulate this. I'm not a hitting coach, but I can tell you we want to feel straight lines even on the pull side, and we don't want to see top spun balls or curled balls, because we're just not a square to the ball. And the feeling of flushing a ball through the center of the field, through left center field, and right center field, makes you feel as if you're more balanced at contact. It makes you feel like more of the center of the bat is making contact with more of the center of the ball. And we want that control. And right now I see a hitter that's just slightly off. And, these fly balls, those fading fly balls to left field, those homers to left field, those long home runs to center field are the next step. It's inevitable. It's not possible for him to fail.
Okay. You articulated it well. I get that. We're soaking it all in. You brought this up, and I'm with you on this. Year by year, I think we've forgotten that Ohtani, when he reached his career high in innings, right, there's only so much he can do. He had 166 innings. You look at his numbers. Back 2022, his OPS plus was 144, which is good, right? But then he becomes the best hitter in the league, 185, 187, 181 in the OPS plus. That year, by the way, he had a 356 on base, slug 519. It's still remarkable, but it seems kind of human. So I think the question is the pitching emphasis? He seems to want to go for the pitching this year. He's been a 0.82 ERA. Is the pitching emphasis draining the offense?
No, it's the his easiest skill is his power. And, he's got the on base. He's got the fantastic performance as a pitcher. He may have taken it, may have geared down on the base running. But the thing that's going to come most natural to him is the power. It's just not possible for him to fail. And for him to have such a high on base percentage and to be so successful right now is, to me, a fantastic sign. And he could hit 260, 270 and still have a 600 slug, have a 400 base, be in that 180, 190 range. And then we're talking about the unicorn of unicorns. So he's got some issues against right-handers right now. But that, to me, is a reflection of, and when I say issues, I mean his lower ISO, his lower slug against right-handers. He's still the exact same against left-handed pitching, actually slightly better than career norms. For me, the right-handed pitching is just that extra tick deeper in the zone, that ball up and away, and the ball away, which is a representation of, in my opinion, as a hitter, the blind spot zone, where you're letting the ball get deeper. You can't really see what's going on, but you trust that the bat's going to get their balls to left center, balls to center field for extra bases.
Okay. That's beyond my expertise. You have a whole field thing. You can see things in the matrix. I want to ask you about this, though. This I understand, and this I used to study with, studying your game. the plate discipline. How often do you chase? How often do you swing when it's in the zone? In other words, controlling the strike zone, understanding what's a strike. Now, previous 2 years, his chase rate is 26%. This year, it's 30. Z-swing is how often are you swinging at pitches that are in the strike zone? He's at 68% the previous 2. Now he's at 60. He drops down. Meatball swing is like middle. He's swinging at 77, and now this year it's 69. So what is this telling you, Joe? I mean, it almost looks obvious to me, or am I getting like chicken and the egg mixed up here?
Just to me, the ball that's close to him, he still is attacking. He's still confident and comfortable. But sometimes visually as hitters, when we feel more confident and comfortable with the ball closer to us, the ball away, the ball with height, has a tendency to look farther away, has a tendency to look higher. And those can make you feel like that strike pitch away, that strike ball up, I can't comfortably get my good swing off. That ball that's close to me, I can get my good swing off. And that becomes this sort of feedback loop into itself where ball closer, more comfortable, ball away, less comfortable. And then we start shaping our swing. And I can almost, I'm not going to guarantee, but my best guess is once he starts handling that ball up and away, that ball away, and starts backing the ball up, you're going to see his bat speed uptick, I think, you know, that maybe 1.5 per hour average down this year. I could see it once he starts flattening out and getting length to his swing, the speed, everything will speed up. You'll see the numbers return to norm. But the easiest thing for him to do is to slug, to ISO, to hit homers. And this to me solves everything as far as his WRC plus and lower slug.
Oh, this is good. Joe, I always say I like doing a show that's nutrient dense. Right? This ain't the cotton candy, John Heyman. This is the meat and potatoes in here. That was nutrient dense. Again, we'll rack it back. We'll watch it. Joe, I enjoyed it. We'd love to do it again, and we'll see you again soon. Great stuff, and it's great seeing you once again.
CBK, thanks.
Thank you.